falling to the ground. It's like
Yeah.
a deadly fireworks display over Tel Aviv.
And
Goodness,
you're
there was an
talking
impact
about
just
Tel
to the left
Aviv.
of us here.
And you're talking about Tel Aviv, Jim. We are looking at pictures right now. Oh, we are looking at pictures of Tel Aviv, what you're describing.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. Okay, guys, we got to get off the roof. These are coming down right next to us here.
Please do, Jim. Please do.
They're coming down. One just about. We got to go inside.
Jim, please take cover. We are listening and we are watching. The Israeli military defending its ground incursion into southern Lebanon, saying it aims to stop attempts by Hezbollah to infiltrate Israel. Also saying Israeli forces have been carrying out raids into southern Lebanon for months now. An IDF spokesman releasing new video footage this morning saying it shows Hezbollah's underground tunnels in Lebanon. Israel says it has destroyed many of them. These details coming just hours after Israel announced it launched a ground operation inside Lebanon. CNN military analyst, retired Army Major General James Spider-Marks is joining us this morning. Thank you so much for being here. We're hearing about this ground incursion. Israel saying it is a limited ground incursion. What does that allow Israel to do as it's going in and out, trying not to keep troops on the ground for very long?
To define an invasion as limited is a priority before the bulk of this operation gets underway. It's a definition that's very imprecise. Look, Hezbollah has a vote in how this thing unravels, right? So to describe it as limited is great, which means Israel hopes to be very precise in its targeting. They want to go after the infrastructure of Hezbollah. They want to go after storage locations. Look, they're looking for evidence that they can go to the International Criminal Court
Good evening, Mike. You have to have one of them that the battery is out. Maybe this one was the better one. I pushed that on.
Oh, the red one? I
Yeah.
thought the red one is for,
Turning on.
I don't know, yeah.
I can hear you, and I can see you.
Oh, you can see me too.
Yes.
How amazing. Okay. Well, I'm going to get the TV on for Ann to watch the debate, and then I'm going to join the class. I'm going to be with the class.
Because of this risk,
Okay.
Camzyos is only available through a restricted program. Okay. Before taking Camzyos, tell your doctor about all of your medical conditions, including cervical
I can see you.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Perfect. Great.
I can hear you.
Baruch
Can you
Hashem.
hear us? Hello.
Yes, I can. I can hear you.
Good. Thank you for setting us up.
Yes. Moshe, are you there?
It looks like he is muted.
He wanted me to record. Someone wanted me to record, but I don't have the option to record on my end.
Well, I'm going to try to get it recorded on a tape. I hope it's going to work. I haven't used a tape player for a long time, but at least if it works, then at least there'll be one record. I'd be happy to give it to Moshe if it works. Yeah. Moshe Lifshitz.
I mean, yeah, you can sit down here, Rabbi. I'm just trying to. I don't think I have the option to record this. So. Yeah.
Why we have to record it?
Someone asked me to. I don't know who the number is, but
Okay.
okay. But you're there. Everyone can hear you.
Okay. So how many guys are on?
Good evening, Rabbi.
Good evening.
You have Mike and I,
Yes, I'm Moshe Lifshitz, I see.
but he might want to go and listen to the debate.
Who's debating? The president.
Yeah, Moshe Lifshitz wanted your class recorded so he could listen to the debate
What
on
debate?
television. Yeah, there's a debate between the vice presidents.
And
The vice president candidates are going to debate tonight, starting at 8 o'clock.
Oh, not the candidate for president.
No, this for vice president.
Uh-huh.
So I think we're gonna miss Moshe Lifshitz.
Uh-huh. Is
But
Leon?
Mike and I are here.
Leon?
Yeah,
No,
Mike is on.
what happened to? I gotta find out what happened to Dorfman. Mordechai Dorfman, Florida.
I haven't heard.
Why, did something happen to him?
No, I mean
Well, he hasn't joined the class for a long time now.
I've got to find out. He's got a.
Yeah, it's recording now.
Okay, what time would you? Well, what time do we? Okay, we're gonna. Okay, it's 8 o'clock.
Yes, it's good. It's 8:04.
It's 8:04. Well, okay. So who's on? Who joined us now? Anybody? Okay, it's me. Okay.
Well, Michael Shiur and
And
Rabbi Lipschitz is on,
who my solicitors?
but he cannot. His speaker is off, so we can't hear him if he wants to talk. His speaker is off.
Okay, I'm going now. The Sedra this week is Azino, but I didn't get to finish what I wanted to finish in last week's parsha, and I think it's important. So I'll begin there. And that portion last week was Vayelech. Moshe went. Vayema Hashem el Moshe. So that parsha, you have God telling Moshe, Hein korvu yamecha. Your days have come close. That means to ending. God didn't tell him bluntly, you're going to die. God didn't taught Tzaddik like Moshe. He said, but your days are going to end. Heim kavri yamecha lamus. Your days are getting few. They've come in close to ending. Halacha, Adam Yisrael, Shemeso Muto Lefonav, Mahu Sheyeh Muto Lo Lispalel. What's the halacha? The Midrash does this many times. It's going to say, it's going to explain what the Gemara says. These are halachas again. Midrash is not simple pshat, but it is commentary on the Chumash. Again, Torah is pardes, pshat, remes, drush, sod. Pardes means orchard, and the Torah is referred to as the orchard. But the first thing in the orchard is the pay, pshat. That's what you have to learn in the whole Torah. And after you learn that, you can learn the remes, the hinted meaning. And then the Alad Drash, that's what we're learning, the Midrash. So, so now here the Midrash is very close to Pshat. And so they bring a halacha. What's the din? Adam Yisrael shemeso muto fanav. He's standing and watching his dead relative. And mahu sheyeh muto lo lispalo. Can he daven it where his relative is laying on the floor? Covered by a sheet, of course. Not, but can he daven? Can he daven there? If you touch a dead person, you're tummy. If you're under the roof with a dead person, you are tummy. And that's why we are all tummy, and we all need, when Mashiach comes, we can't go on the mountain of the where the Beis Hamikdash stood, and that's it shouldn't be controversial, but because it's a straight law that you can't go. All the poskim have said you can't go, and some people, Orthodox people, one of them being the Minister of Security, Ben Gvir. He's Tamar Ben Gvir. He goes and causes a lot of trouble with the Arabs, which is unnecessary because you can't go there to begin with. Anyway, why? Because we are all Tamar mates. We can't go there. until we get the term of mace. We take it. We've been in hospitals. We've been under the roof with dead people. We've been at funerals inside. You know, if you've been in a chapel where they're having a service for a dead person and the person is laying in a coffin, you're under the roof with a dead person. So, and the only way it gets off is you have the ashes of the red heifer sprayed on you. So, and that will not happen until Mashiach comes. And we have the 10th red heifer in history that will be slaughtered. We've seen red heifers. We saw that little video of like 7 real red heifers being cultivated calves. But Mashiach has to decide which red heifer goes. Anyway, but so now the question is, can you pray there? So, Kach Shonu Chachami. So did the sages. They're called Chachamim, the wise men. That's what the sages of the Mishnah sometimes just called straight out Chachamim, wise men. Mi shameso mutulifanav. Somebody whose dead relatives, or he doesn't have to be his relative, anybody that he's watching, a friend who died, Potter me Kriyat Shema. He doesn't have to say Shema. He's watching a dead person, and it's a very big mitzvah to deal with a dead person after I and to see that he's buried as soon as possible. But meanwhile, he's Potter me Krishma. He doesn't have to say Krishma. Uminat tefillah, and from davening, he doesn't have to daven. You ask the question, what about davening in front of a dead person? So the Mishnah tells us you don't have to daven in front of you're potter, because you have this tremendous mitzvah of taking care of that it shouldn't be a mace mitzvah. You take a mace mitzvah. A Kohen Gadol who's in the sanctuary can take care of him, because that's the cover of mace is very important. Belama Lamdunu Rabosenu Cain. Why did the rabbis teach us like this? Kivan Sheroat Raso Lefanav. Since a person sees his trouble, it means a dead person dies, there's pain. Lefanav Daitai Mivolegas. His mind becomes confused and he can't focus on davening. Abo Mishanikvar, but once he's you have the mistress take care of him until he's buried. But once he's buried, then you chayv it all the mistress. Kivin Shiraya so the fun of Daita Muvleges Abo Mishanikvar. Once the dead person is buried, call Shivas Yemei Avo. The week is an Avo for that week. If it's a relative that we're talking about, that he has to be Nisabel, that he has to be Avo, he has to sit Shiva. Call Shivas Yemei Avo. But still, who's called over shall mystery. He got his album, he got to put on film. He's got to do all the mysteries. It's only until his relative is buried that he's in a state of tenseness, and he can't focus. He can only focus on this story that he has, that his relative died. Nine after Lomé Alvel Shivas Yami. How do you know that a mourner has to mourn for a week? Shivas Yami, 7 days. Where do we learn that from? Omar Rabbi Abba Baravina Shekain Matzinu Biyose. Find that by Yosef. Vayas Aviv Evel Shivas Yami. When Yosef's father Yaakov Avinu died, so it says in scripture, Vayas Aviv Evel Shivas Yami. He mourned for his father 7 days. He made that a mourning period. Now, Yosef, we're talking about biblical personages who are having the divine Ruach HaKodesh, and that means that that's what God wants. That you have to mourn, you have to sit shiva. God forbid, none of us should know from that. Shabbos and Shabbos, even though not on Shabbos, you can't sit shiva. Shabbos, you can't do anything. You can't sit shiva. You can't wear your torn clothes. You have to rise clear. You have to tear something from your garment. You have to wear regular Shabbos garments. So Shabbos, there's no avails, but it's one of the 7 days. It's figured as one of the 7 days, Shabbos. Just because you can't mourn, it's Shabbos is in the week of your mourning, and it's considered one of the days of mourning. Amar Rabbi Yossi bar Zavida b'shem Rish Lakish. Yesh l'cha lilmod mimokom acher. There's another place you can learn that Avelus, mourning for the dead, is 7 days. Menayin shenemar ba'afachti chagechem le'evel. I will turn your celebration, your holidays, into April, to mourning. So they learn from here. Ma yemei hachag, af yemei ha'evel. Just like the chag is ma yemei hachag zayin. What is called which one is called the chag? Sukkot is called the chag. And how many days of Sukkot are there in the Torah? We have an added one in the Galus. But how many days are there of Sukkot? Amayim Me'achag Zayin, and in that pasuk in Amos, where God says, "I will turn your your chag into mourning." What does that mean? Just like there are 7 days to Sukkot, so you can learn it from Yosef, that Yosef made a 7-day period of Shiva for his father, and hey, any of their, because what they did, that's the law. They did it. They were talking when we talk about always. I mean, there were never people like us. You know, Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, and their children. So Yosef established the Shiva for his father, and now we're learning it from another place in the prophet Amos, that where God has him saying, he's a Navi, "V'apachti chadechem le'ovel." I will turn your yontevs into evil, into evil. Ma yemei achad zayin, af yemei ha'evil zayin. Amru Rabbeinu, Ma'aser haya b'yemei Rabbi Shimon ben Chalafta. The rabbis are telling us in this Midrash, and I believe the story is in the Gemara too. I'm not sure about that, but this is we've learned it before, but I think it's very important. There was a Ma'aser b'yemei Rabbi Shimon ben Chalafta. Okay, shehalach lebris milah. He went to a bris milah. And he ate there. There was a dinner that, you know, if you make a bris milah, you have to make a dinner. And if it falls on the fast day, you make the dinner, you make the bris during the day. The bris has to be done during the day, but the meal can be at night when it's after the fast. But here was a regular bris, and Shimon Chalafta was invited, and he ate there at the Suda. It was glad kosher. And at the bris, Aviv Shel Tinok, Hishka Oson Yain Yoshon Ben Zayin Shonim. The father of the baby gave everybody, was like catered bris, but he had a special wine that was 7 years old. He aged it 7 years. Amalam, and he made an announcement to the attendants of the bris and the Suda. Amalam, minayayin hazeh, ani miyashen l'simchaso shel b'ni. You know what, guys? I'm keeping this wine for the wedding of this young little 8-day-old baby. This wine I'm going to let you, which is 7 years old now. And now probably when the kids would go get married, I'd say at 18, because as it says in Pirkei Avos, Ben Shmona Esrei L'chuppah. Marriageable age starts at 18. That's when it's, when Jewish young people should get married. It was even younger than that. Some got married at 14. And so the father of the baby who was giving out the wine, in 20 years, this kid will be a chassan. And he'll make a wedding, and he'll make the party, and then the wine will be 27 years. I suppose the age wine is better. Hayu soadin ad chatzi halayla. When they ate there in the bris till the middle of the night, till 12 o'clock at night, it was a big party and a lot of good food and wine. And it was a Suda's mitzvah to eat by a bris. So people did that, and they were enjoying themselves immensely. Rabbi Shimon ben Chalafta, but Rabbi Shimon ben Chalafta had to go home at 12 o'clock. So he, Shahaya Batuach Al Kocho, he wasn't afraid to go home at 12. Look, you're not supposed to get out, leave at 12 o'clock to go out. You shouldn't do that, because there's all kinds of spooks and there's all kinds of robbers at night, you shouldn't go at night alone, or you shouldn't go, period, if possible. You got to travel, go out, go in the morning. But Reb Shimon ben Chalafta, Shehaya Batuach Al Kocho, he was a very holy man, and he was assured, he was positive that he wouldn't get hurt. He can handle people who are out to hurt, steal, beat up. It's not going to happen to him because he's a holy man. He was a holy man, and he believed in his strength, his spiritual strength. So he left the bris, because he benched, and he went out in the middle of the night. Leilech le'iro, to go to his city. It must have been, cities were very close to each other. They walked. He didn't go in any animal. He didn't ride. He walked. Marchasham Malachamobes. Hey, he ran into, of all beings, the Malachamobes, the angel of death. Baderach. He was in not far from the house of the Bris, where he had spent time with the Bris. But also Meshuna. And Shimon Chalafta had seen the Malachamavas before, and he knew what he looked like regularly. And so he wasn't frightened, but he saw that the Malachamavas, he looked very ticked up. Meshuna, he looked different than he always looked. Amalo. So now Miato. He asked him, he didn't recognize him because he looked different. Amalo Shlucho Shel Mokom. He said, I am an emissary of the omnipotent and omnipresent God. So the Malachamavas, humans hate him. I mean, I'm scared of him because he comes to take lives. He said, but he doesn't take it by himself. He's not his own man. He's God's man. God sends him. I'm an emissary of the Creator. Amalo, Mishuna. Why do you look different than I've seen you before? That you look, Mishuna means different. So you look naughty, you look arrogant, you look, your face is all different. Whatever it means, face, but we're talking about Tangoim, Shimon ben Chalafta. So I don't know if any of us would recognize the Malachamavas, but Shimon ben Chalafta did recognize it. And he said, Upnei ata mishuna. Why do you look different? Amalo mi sichasan shel brios. I'm ticked off. I look because and I'm bothered, and I look bothered because of the speech of human beings, the way they talk. Shein omrim kach v'kach anu asidin. You know what ticks me off? Said the Malach HaMavis. People say we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and in a couple of years, you know, hey. ואין יודע, אין Messiah who nikra lamavis. He doesn't know when he's going to die. How can he say it? I'm going to do this and this. Hey, I'm interrupting a moment. Does this apply? What are you going to say? This God willing, you should say. If but he's ticked off that they don't say that. They said, we're going to do this and this. And he says, why do they say that? How do they know they're going to live till then? They're going to live to do this thing. See you tomorrow. You should say God willing, because if God's not willing, I'm not going to see you tomorrow. Anyhow, I'm editing. I'm putting this in. But this is now, again, this is a classic story. So we have the meeting of Reb Shimon ben Chalafta and the angel of death. And the angel of death looks different, and he's ticked off, and he's bothered. What's he bothered by? When people say we're going to do this, we're going to do that, how do they know that I'm not going to visit them and take their life way before that? I have to look I don't in the Midrashim. Maybe the Midrashim say someplace here that this is if they don't say God willing. If they would say God willing, the angel of death would not be kicked off. But here they're saying it positively. That's what takes them. That they're going to do this. They're going to. He said, you were just at a party. And I'm ticked off. And now he tells Shimon and Chalafta, the angel of death, is speaking to Shimon ben Chalafta, and he tells him, I'm ticked off because people say, Kach v'kach I'm going to do. Anu asidin lasos. Ve'eno yodea ein Messiah who nikra lamavis. Lamut, who knows when he doesn't know when he's going to leave this world. Also, Yisha, he's continuing now in the dialogue, the Malach HaMavis. Also, Yisha, so wait that slow. Hey, the guy who was the host at the banquet that you just were at, the bris banquet, the Omar Lachem, he told you guys, he made an announcement. Min hayayin hazeh ani miyashen l'simchas b'ni. I told you I'm going to serve this wine, God will. He doesn't say God willing, at the wedding of my son, which will be 15, 20 years from now. And will be much older, and it's really very good now because I've been aging it, and it's 7 years old, the wine. Higia Pirko. And you know what's the story with him? His time is up. Lito Achalam Yom. In 30 days, I'm going to take him. He's going to die. So what's ticking me off is, what are you talking about? I'm going to do this in 20 years. How do you know you're going to be around in 20 years? You ain't even going to be around in 20 months or 20 weeks. You're coming with me in 30 days. Now Rabbi Chalapsu said, Amar lo, this is very, very interesting. Hare li es pirki. Mr. Malach Hamavis, Mr. Angel of Death, tell me the time when I'm going to leave this world, when you're coming after me. So listen to what he answers. Amar lo, I can't tell you, lo alecha, below al kiyeshavach. Guys like you, holy men, Talmidei Chachamim, learn it. I can't tell you. I don't have control over you guys. Not on you, and not like your peers, guys like you, holy men. Ani Sha'ali. I have no jurisdiction over you, no rulership over you. Why? Sometimes, even if you're prescribed for death, but sometimes the Holy One, blessed be He, Chafetz b'maisim atayvim. God loves your deeds, your good deeds. Umosei b'chem chayim. Chayim. You done you prescribed according to the regular years that you were given. You're prescribed it. I should take you when you're this and this age. But sometimes God looks at the record and sees all the good deeds that you've done, and He changes His mind. And He adds years to your life. Pa'omayim shakadosh baruch hu chafetz b'maasim tovim shelachem. Pa'omayim shakadosh baruch hu chafetz b'maasim tovim. He likes, he has a nachas, and he's happy from you're listening to him and you're doing the good deeds all the time. And umosif bochem chayim, he adds years to your life. So this is what I'm a chum tzaddikim, and you can, you do good deeds, that can change. And we know very well the pasuk that tzedakah tatzil mimavis. If you do act of charity to people who are dependent, they can't get their meals themselves, they don't have money to buy what they need, and you give them, that can save you from death. That's a good mindset, and God looks at that, and that saves you from death. Giving tzedakah, giving charity. And he continues on this, and that פעמים שהקדוש ברוך הוא חופש במעשים טובים ומוסיף לכם חיים. God adds to you life. You were destined to die, but no, God looks, God says to me, hold back, not this guy. He's done wonderful deeds and we're not going to take him. Shemar. This is an important pasuk in Mishlei and Proverbs. Yiras Hashem Toisif Yomim. Awe, reverence for God will add days. It means Yomim means years also. Yomim in certain context means years, but it means it will add life to you. Yiras Hashem, 4 words. Reverence for God, Toishiv Chayim. Reverence for God will add life. The rabbis say, Kosha lifnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu ligzor misa al hatzadikim. God doesn't like to declare death to the tzaddikim, to the all righteous. Minayin shenemar. Where do you see that? We see it in Tehillim, we see it in Hallel. Yokor b'nei Hashem amobso l'chasidav. It's grievous to God, the death of his pious ones. Kein haya tzarich loimer l'Moshe. Kach haya tzarich loimer l'Moshe. This is the way God should have said to Moshe, Hine atrameis. You're going to die. But God didn't say that because it's upsetting to the God Almighty. Hine atrameis. That's what God, if you want to tell him that you're going to die, and he was 120, Hine atrameis. He didn't say that below. He didn't say it like this. Eleniach oisoi. V'tola hamisa b'yomim. He said, your days are coming to an end. He didn't say you're gonna die. But he put it in this way, cover your map, and he says that to all the tzaddikim. Shikorim b'inyan, hein cover your mecholamus. And so this whole thing that we just learned is attached to this pasuk. Your days have come to your leaving this world. Okay, that's in Parsha Vayelech. Now we will go with what is the Parsha this week. And we have the Wednesday night till Saturday night, after the stars come out, is holy. 2 days Rosh Hashanah, and that runs into Shabbos. So those are holy days, and they should be treated as such. And but Shabbos, we read Yom Tov, we read special portions that are relevant to what happened on Rosh Hashanah. The birth of Yitzchak, the sacrifice of Yitzchak, the almost sacrifice of Yitzchak. That's what's written in the Torah. You know, on Rosh Hashanah. But on the third day, on Shabbos, and if you're not going to be in a synagogue, you can read it. Ha'azinu, read it from your Chumash. Ha'azinu, the song that Moshe said, is with the commentary, and it's very inspirational and educated. Okay, so we'll go to Ha'azinu. I'm going to go from the beginning of Azinu. Okay. Siddur Hazinu Parsha is Yud. In the Chumash, it's Parsha Yud. And here the Midrash starts again with the halacha. Halacha Adam Yisrael Shaya Choshesh V'Ozno. A Jewish person who is pained in his ear. He's got an earache. Mahu Sheyei Muter L'Rapaisai B'Shabbos. Can you heal a guy with an earache on Shabbos? Now you have to remember they didn't have no question that we can take painkillers and pills. They had to manipulate the ear. I don't think they I don't think they had prescriptions in the time of the Midrash and the time of the Gemara. And so is this considered an illness, a pain in the ear, that you can deal with it, get hot water, put it on, massage it, whatever? So the rabbis answer, call Safek Nefashos Toiches HaShabbos. This is what the rabbi is answering. Can you heal the ear on Shabbos and do heat water to wash it with hot water? You do things which are contrary, which you're not allowed to do on Shabbos. So it says, yes, if it is a suffix pekuach nefesh, that he could die. If it's not treated on Shabbos, go ahead and do it. Because doiche. So he said, Bizu, this, again, the rabbi said, after the question, Shabbos, can you heal him on Shabbos? The rabbi said, Kol shestopek nefashos doiche es Shabbos. Any sickness which is could be it could be a very far a possibility, but if it could even in any way lead to death, then it's doiche. It preempts the Shabbos. You can do it. Vizu Bakas Ozen. And you should know that this is an earache is a dangerous thing. And if this is a bad earache, Rabbanan im sakona hi merapi myself. B'Shabbos. If there's any doubt that it's a sakana, sakana means danger. It's a danger to his life. It could turn into a life saving situation where his life, you can't neglect it, and you can't leave it to tomorrow. You can't leave it to tonight. When it's not Shabbos, you got to do it now. Rabbanan Amru, the rabbi said with this, Mevakesh Atah, Shelo Lachush Be'oznecha, V'lo Echad Avarech. Hey, guys, you want to know how you shouldn't have an earache on Shabbos or ever? Again, Rabbi Amru, Mevakesh Atah Shelo Lachush Be'oznecha. You want to know how you could don't have to you shouldn't get an earache. You want to prevent it, an earache or any ache in the body. What should you do? That you shouldn't get an earache or a footache or a stomach ache? You know, what should you do? So he brings up pasuk in Yeshaya. Hatei odnecha Torah. Set your ear to hearing Torah. Oh, here's the refuah. Torah. If you set your ear to hearing Torah, the pain will go away, or you won't get it to begin with. Hatei odnecha Torah. Vatnochel chayim. And if you get yourself into Torah, what is the reward? Chayim, life. Minayin. What do you get? What do you see? This Shneimar. Hatu oznachem ulechu elai. Put your ears and come to me. Pasuk in Yeshayahu. Shimu, listen to my word. U'sechin nafshechem. What will be the result? Your souls will live. You won't die. So that if you you want to have a clear path, a healthy body with no pains, learn Torah. Turn your ear, starting with the ear. Let your ear listen to Torah, and you won't get an earache. Amar Rabbi Chanina bar Papa. Papa had 10 sons. Papa was a great Tana, and he had 10 sons, and we mentioned all of them at a siyum when you finish the Masechta. But here he just needs to mention one, and he said this, which is going to be following. Amar Rab Chanina bar Papa. Call me Shemezer Ozno Mishmoa Torah. Hey, anybody who goes away, Meser Ozno, he turns his ear away from learning Torah. Tvilaso Nimeses. His davening is no good. He's despised by God. Again, Meser Ozno Mishmoa Torah. I've given this example before. A guy comes in, the synagogue, he's got to say Kaddish, and he's early, and they're learning Torah, and he don't want to hear Torah. He's got a newspaper. He's going to read a newspaper or read a book that he carries on him, or smoke a cigarette before davening. Hey, you know what you should do? You should go sit down with the guys who are learning and listen. Even if you don't have a book, listen to what they're saying. This is very strong punishment. Again, what is it? Meisher Azno Mishmoa Torah. Somebody who takes his ear away from listening to Torah. Gam Tfilu also. His davening is no good. It's repulsive. Rabbi Levi Omar. Rabbi Levi comes along and says, Ha'ozen leguf kikinkol lekelim. The ear to the body is like a kinkle to clothes. What's a kinkle? So a kinkle is you can make it as large as you want, but it's like it's sieve. It has holes in it. It's made of steel, and you put clothes on it, and under it you put a perfume, a fire that exudes perfume, and it goes through all. They had it, we're talking about 2,000 years ago, almost, or 2,000 years ago. That's how they cleaned and perfumed their clothes. They couldn't put it on the fire, it'd burn. But so they put this kinkle, that's what it's called, and they put the clothes on top of it, space it out, and the smoke from the fire and everything comes on the clothes, and it gives a good odor to the clothes. So now he says, just like you want to clean your clothes and get a good smell on them, you put it on the kinkle, and under the kinkle is a mugmar, something that spews fire and smoke, and it's a perfumer. They stick perfume in the whatever they're putting on as a fuel to the kunkel. I mean, to that that's bringing the perfume to the clothes. So he says how, and so he says the ear is like a kunkel. Shekain akinko kama kalim. Nice, love. You put on the kunkel. You spread out the clothes that you want perfumed, pressed, smoothed out, maybe even cleaned. Stick is so the fumes are coming from the kiko. The at no saying mugmar. You take a mugmar. A mugmar is like a type of a lamp that sends out. People would bring it after a suda. Bring the mugmar, and that would exude fragrance, and which would put the people in a happy mood. And the same thing, you can stick it underneath the kunko, the picture an ironing board that is cut up with holes, and you put the clothes on top of it, and then it was wide, so you could put the whole clothes on it. And so just Shekain Hakinko Kama Kelim Nishnim Olav, all the clothes that I put on it, the at no saying Mugbar, and you put the burning instrument under it. The Mugbar Taxrav, the Kulam is Ashnim. All of them get this pleasant smoke into it, the perfume smoke. Kach, now listen to this. Kach, I said that the ear is to the body like the kunko is to the clothes. Now listen to this. Kach, Mosayim ba'arboim ushmona, Averim sheba adam hazeh. A person has 248 limbs in his body. And al yedei ha'oizan kulam chayim. Through all these 248 limbs or organs in the body, they live through the ear, because Torah comes in and soothes all of the body. There are 248 Jews mitzvahs in the Torah. Kach Mosayim ba'arboim ushmona, 248 Averim Sheb Adam Hazeh, that's in a living person. Al Yidei Ha'oizen, through the ear, just like the clothes get their perfume from the kinko. This through the ear, a human being hears the mitzvahs. Al Yidei Ha'oizen Kulam Chaim, they all get life through the ear. Minayin Shenemar. There's a pasuk that there's a pasuk in Shia. Shimu, listen, utchin avshechem, and your souls will live if you listen. Hey, this is an instruction to us to listen to Torah. Listen to what God says. Get tapes and play the whole 53 Sedras. There are tapes and with English translations. And there are tapes of Tanya and hey, listen. And it goes into your body and it heals you. That's what we're supposed to get from this. The ear lets in the words of Torah and that heals the body. And there have been stories that actually that's what happened. And when people were sick and they heard Torah and it brought them to health. It's you know, the whole Torah, everything that we learn is designed. It's advertising media. The Torah it get us to do God's mitzvahs. God gave us mitzvahs. We have 613 parts in our body. We, they don't have tags on them that says 1, 2, 3, you know what. But, and to the 613 mitzvahs, if we learn them and know them, that helps the body. We are admired by the nations by the intelligent people of the nations because we have a structured life. And people like that structured life. A lot of people, some people hate it because of that. They don't want to follow this structured life. But we Jews have a structured life that God gave us, that the Creator gave us. And who can know what's better for the body than the Creator? And He's telling you, study my Torah. Listen to my Torah every opportunity you have. And when you're saying Torah, you're also listening to it. You yourself are saying Torah. You're listening to it. I got 3 words. Listen. Shimu. U'tzechin avshechem. And your soul will live. So everything we learn, every moment that you have, spend it on listening to Torah. That means Torah is the 5 books of Moses, and the whole Tanakh. And boy, that means all the prophecies of Yechezkel, Yirmiyahu, Yeshayahu, and all of the holy writings. And a person should get a hold, should have that, and he should just say. And if you have, I have a Tanakh with the English translation, and I tried to just read sections of it with English so I could understand the words. Not all the words I can understand, but when you got a moment, say Tehillim, learn the whole. Don't waste a moment. Because that you're here on this earth, and there'll come a time when you see what a important instruction this was, to learn Torah, hear Torah. It will heal your body, and it can mean also that you might not feel that your body is healed, but it saves you from leaving this world early, and it works, and because you heard it from the source of truth, and truth is Torah, and Midrash is part of the Torah. Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So said the Holy One, blessed be He. Im hitesa oznecha l'Torah. If you turn your ear to Torah, כשתבוא לפתוח בדברי Torah. Hey, if you're a guy who learned, and people know that you learn, when you come to say something, everybody will listen. If you yourself learn Torah, then people will listen to you teaching Torah. You have a reputation. Again, Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Holy One, blessed be, said, Im hitesa oznecha l'Torah. If you set your ear to hear Torah, כשתבוא לפתוח בדברי Torah, when you come to give a lecture in words of Torah, hakol mishtatekim, everybody will shut up and stop talking, and they'll listen to you. Mishtatekim lefanecha, they'll become silent in front of you. B'shoimim dvarecha, they'll hear what you have to say. Kishem, why? Because Kishem sheitisa oznecha lishmoya divrei Torah. You are always present there to listen to words of Torah. So if you listened, you come to teach, people will hush and listen to you. The noise will stop, and wherever you are. What do you learn this from? Umehechan ata lamed. Where do you see this? From Moshe. Moshe Rabbeinu. She'al yado shehita ozno l'Torah. He always listened to everything that God said to him, and Torah. He listened. B'shah sheba liftoach b'divrei Torah. When he came to give lectures that would stand for the centuries, like before he was to pass away, and he says, "Hazina shamayim b'dabeira, v'shishba haaretz yimei." Listen, heavens, and I will speak, and the earth should listen to the utterances of my mouth. So when he came to give Torah lesson, Nishtaku Elyonim, the upper spheres got quiet. Nishtaku Ve'azinu Dvarav, and the lower were also they got quiet. And where do we see this? In what we learn here in the Torah in Hazinu. Hashemayim v'daberu. He said, listen. They listened. Because he listened to God's Torah. He wasn't bored. He didn't take his mind off it. He was eager to learn Torah, to get the knowledge of Torah into himself. bring in Hazinu, a very interesting Midrash. Be'ezesh Omar Akosu, Omar Elokei Yisrael, we diber Sur Yisrael. The God of Israel said about me, the rock of Israel, means God. Moshe Ba'adam, he rules over man. Umihu Tzadik Moshe Yiras Elokim. And it says there also, this is a pasuk that in Shmuel, Tzadik Moshe Yiras Elokim. Hatadikim Moishlim Kaviyachol. This is why people run to tzaddikim have the power. They had the whole section before this, that everything that God did, God gave the power of man to do. And they give a whole list of things that, God proclaimed Akoris, God lets the barren woman suddenly be able to give birth. Humans can, which humans? People like Elisha and Eliyahu and Joshua. But that's before this. And this is a pasuk that says that God loves the tzaddikim, and therefore you go to a tzaddik if you have a situation, and the tzaddik should pray for you. You can pray for yourself, any place, no question. But when you're in a danger and a tough situation, you go to the best lawyer. And the best lawyer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu are the tzaddikim. Ha-tzaddikim moishlim kaviyachol, as it were, they have power. It says, tzaddik geyser, tzaddik says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu mekayim, God fulfills. HaKadosh Baruch Hu geyser, God can make a decree on man, but tzaddik mevatel. God gave the power to the tzaddikim to mevatel, to excuse me, to do away with what he himself decreed.
Zugesund.
Thank you.
Bless you. Zugesund.
Keep blessing. Keep blessing. That's very good. Amen. Yes, everybody has the power to bless,
Yes.
especially tzaddikim, good people. So God is that's what we said. Shakarish Baruch Hu, Moishe, God is the ruler. Shakarish Baruch Hu, Moishe. With Nave Maksi, why does it say in Amos, in Amos? Hakoira Lemei Hayom. He calls to the waters of the sea. V'yishbechem al pnei haaretz, and he spreads them on the land. Hashem Shmo, God is his name, that's who does it. Shehiru Mufonav. That's why they should have awe from God. They should fear God. And look at the flooding that's gone on in just in the last few days in the south here. Sheyu abriya shirei mefana. That the creatures, the human beings, briyas, those who were created, shirei mefana. Lama hatuma doradayma. What is this? You know, that God makes the people fear him. What is this similar to? Lemedina shemorda melech. To a community, a country that rebelled against the king, you know, and they stopped doing what he commanded. Ma asa melech, what did the king do? Hevi legion echad kosher. He brought a troop of tough soldiers. Ve'kifu, and they surrounded the city or the country. And what did that cause? Kidei sheyiru b'nei Medina. They should see. Kidei sheyiru b'nei Medina rowing also. Umisyarim milfonav, and they would be afraid. Hey, look what the king can to get us all in a dungeon. Get the, at least he brought these tough guys. I don't know if it means mercenaries, but he brought a legion of tough soldiers, and the people got scared when they saw it. And the revolution was over. He scared them. Tabaracha. Kach bara HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So did God do. So did God create as Olamo, his world. Yom Sheyiyah Yom. Day should be day, 24 in a 24-hour period. There should be 12 hours of sunlight and 12 hours of darkness. And day should be day and night should be night. That's the way God made it, right? But tzaddikim can change it. Boy, Yaakov came along, but also as Hayom Laila. Hey, God made the sun should shine 12 hours and the moon is in charge 12 hours, night and day. But a man, a tzaddik, changed that. Who? Yaakov, Vayivka b'makom, Vayolan sham ki ba shemesh. He, the sun set prematurely. God made it day should turn into night. That the night should be longer. That he had to rest there because the shemesh of the sun went down. It wasn't time for it to run down. So you see the tzaddik change. Shenamar, Shem, and so Yaakov brought the shemesh. The shemesh, the sun should go down prematurely before it was supposed to go down, but God was supposed to, Yaakov was supposed to sleep in that particular spot, so he caused the shemesh to go down. And then, Bo Yoshua v'osa halayla yom, Joshua came and made from the night day. Shenemar, Shemesh Bagivon Dom. He made for a time of night, day. He needed more sunshine to fight his battle. So he made a longer day. He made it the sun shouldn't go down because he needed it to be light. So that he could finish his battle. So that God gives the power to tzaddikim. And okay. כך ברא דברך, כך ברא הקדוש ברוך הוא, שיהיה יום, שתהיה יבשה יבשה. That the sea or the ocean should be sea, ocean, lake. ושתהיה יבשה יבשה, and then dry land should be dry land. Moshe Sayam Yabosha. Moshe, the power that God gave him, he made the sea dry land so the Jews could go through. He made 12 tunnels in the water of Yabosha. He made water into dry land. שנאמר, ובני ישראל הולכו ביבשה בסוף היום. Hayom. Scripture says that the Jewish Bnei Israel, the Jewish people, they walked b'yabasha in dry land. He made dry land right in the middle of the sea. From two sides, there was water, but where they had to walk, it was dry land. So that's not the way, God made it. But he God made where the water should be, the water should be. And where dry land should be, dry land should be. But not to make the water into dry land until there was a need. This is telling us that God gave the tzaddikim the ability to split the sea. And boy, Elisha also Yam. Elisha came and he made dry land to be water. Shneimar, Ko Omar Hashem, Oseh HaNachal Hazeh Gavim, VaNachal Ahu Yimole Mayim. Kach Bora HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Es HaChoref Sheyeh Choref. God created that the winter should be winter, Besakayit Sheyeh and summer should be summer. But Eliyahu also Es HaChoref Kayit. Choref is the winter when the water is supposed to, rains that come, snow comes. That's the winter. But Eliyahu made that the winter should turn into kites and no rain should come. Shkein Ksiv Chai Hashem. So lives God. Im yeh hashanim ha'ela tal u'matar. If there'll be any water, tal dew water. Ki im feeds what I. Only what I said he causes me three. Where it is supposed to be water, and he said he cried out, Eliyahu, that there'll be no water until I say, let there be water. And then Shmuel came, also Esakayitz L'Choref. He made in the dry season, the summer should be winter. Shekach, Ksiv, it's written, Halo K'tir Chitim Ayom, now is the time for the harvesting of wheat. Ekwa Hashem, I will call to God, V'yiten kolos u'motar. He'll make it not possible. He'll make it winter. Even now is summer, he'll make it winter. And God will give thunder and rain. And now it's just to say that the tzaddikim have the power of calling on God, the maker of nature, the maker of the world, to change the way he made it. So what we are learning now is the power of tzaddikim. And that's why I think we'll finish here. It's past 9:30, but I'll here in tzaddikim. And in every generation, God gives us tzaddikim. That's a given also, as it says in the Gemara. Ein dor she'ein Moshe. There isn't a generation that doesn't have its Moshe. And it brings an example of the poor story. Mordechai was the Moshe in his generation. But every generation has a Moshe. And of course, the Lubavitcher Hasidim look at the Rebbe. To bring about Moshe. I told you a story last week about the couple that was barren. They couldn't have 17 years they were married, and they couldn't have children. Did I tell you that story last week?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did, Rabbi.
I'll tell you another little story. There was a terrible accident in a little city in Israel, and one kid unfortunately was killed, and another kid was almost killed. It was a fire, and uh, the materials from the home fell on the kid. There was an explosion, and the kid was fighting for his life, but the doctors didn't give it any. He was. They said he was brain dead, and he wouldn't survive. And there was one kid who had some wine from the Rebbe that he was at a brain gun. He was in America, and he had the Rebbe gives kosher bracha, and there was wine. He had some wine, and he wanted to give it to. He wanted to give it into the mouth of this kid, and the fathers didn't believe that that would be any good. The kid is gone, and the father was so. And says, "What can you lose?" And so uh, he went that night, and he poured a couple drops uh, into the kid's mouth. He held the kid's mouth open, and he poured wine from the Rebbe's the Rebbe gives out. He gave out after every holiday, and they made it Abdullah, and the Rebbe would take that wine that he made at bracha, and the people would go by because he would keep adding and adding and adding to that cup. And people would walk by, and many times I got wine from the Rebbe's cup. It got a kosher bracha and the cup of blessing, and he poured the wine into the kid. And the father said they weren't religious people. They didn't, this whole business of Rebbe didn't mean anything to them. They went by what the doctor said. But he said, "All right, go do it." Let him. He said, and if it works, then he gets comes back to life. He was on all kinds of machinery, and they said he was brain dead. And this cousin poured from his cup that he got. He saved it, in the fridge. And the father said, if this is he becomes better, he comes back to be to be alive after the doctor all said he's going to die in a couple hours. And he poured the wine from the Rebbe, that the Rebbe gave him, and he added to that, of course, too. But still, the Rebbe's wine is there. We take the precautions not to lose it. And the father said that he'll fast on Yom Kippur. He made a pledge that if the kid comes back to life, that he'll fast on Yom Kippur. And sure enough, the doctor said it was a miracle because the kid, whom they thought was brain dead, he recovered. And they took him home in a couple of days. And the father fasted on Yom Kippur. But anyway, so the what I'm telling you this is that before Rosh Hashanah, you could write a letter to the Rebbe, and that's what I'm going to do. I don't see myself going there to the cemetery. Uh, Even before I don't have any trips planned, but you can write to the Rebbe, and what they do is they throw it on the cemetery. They won't read it. You write whatever you need, And that's Jewish, not Jewish. The Rebbe is here to help make God's will happen in the world, and God's, to get, and people to work to make God's will. You got to be alive and well, and so anybody who has a problem can write to the Rebbe, can email, and you can find out from Mendel or from any. I don't know exactly the email address, but you can email a letter, and it'll go straight to the Rebbe. They will bring it there. I mean, it goes to the oil, goes to the cemetery, and that is you write the name of your family. You can write all the names and mother's names if they're Jewish, the father's names if they're not Jewish. But you can write that to the Rebbe before Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah is the anniversary of the creation when God made man, and so it is customary to go to the graves of relatives and pray, or certainly to go to the graves of holy people. And you can't, I mean, and the people who go to the graves write the letters and drop it on the grave. And so write the names of your whole family that you want to be blessed and send it out, email it to the Rebbe, and before Rosh Hashanah, and ask for what you need. I mean, you're not praying to from the Rebbe, but God, listen to the tzaddikim, as we learned now, that tzaddikim have the power of changing. And even with the angel of death said, I can't tell you your date of departure because God changes. You people make him happy, and he gives you long life. Yiras Hashem l'chaim. If you have awe for God, you live. Anyway, I want to wish everybody a Ksiva Tova, and the next time we'll learn will be next Tuesday, and it will be in the 10 days of Shuvah, penitence. So we'll learn again on Tuesday night. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you, Rabbi, for the learning.
Thank you, and we'll be in touch. Take care.
Good Shabbos. Take care.
Yes, we should take a Shabbos and Shiva Tova. It may be written and inscribed for a happy and a healthy year. That's the blessing that we say now to each other. Shiva, V'chasima, Tova.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Okay.
God bless. Have a good year. Have a good year, Rabbi. Bye.